Bombas was founded in 2013, and they were built on a purpose of supporting the homeless community and bringing awareness to a growing rampant problem that they felt deserved greater attention across the United States. And so, like Tom's, Bombas's business model was built around the BOGO, the buy one, give one model. So for every pair of socks Bombas sold, the company donated a pair to the homeless. And also, like Tom's, it's not just about charity. This is about business. This is about growth. This is about profitability. But that growth and profitability comes from helping other people outside of the organization, outside of the traditional key stakeholders of the company. And one of the co-founders of Bombas is a guy, his name's David Heath. And back in 2011, he came across a Facebook post about how socks were one of the most requested clothing items at homeless shelters. Now, again, like Blake, coming back to the origin story of Tom's, Bombas was born out of a genuine need to serve and help others, to create values for others just beyond the company. And in David's case, his co-founder, Randy Goldberg, came on board. And so the two quit their day jobs and they launched on Indiegogo. And this was a crowdfunding initiative to help raise some initial capital. Now, they originally set a goal to raise $15,000 in just 30 days. But to their amazement, to their delight, they hit $25,000 in crowdfunding within the first 24 hours. And by the time the campaign was over, they had crowdfunded more than $140,000. And from that point forward, they went on to raise another $1 million with seed funding. What really helped Bombas to take off was when they landed a deal with Damon John on Shark Tank. And it was that relationship that propelled their growth. And within 2 months of being on the show, they did $1.2 million in sales as they sold out all of their inventory. I used this example of Bombas when I talk to financial marketing, sales, and leadership teams to show that Tom's, the story of Tom's, is not just a one-off fluke, but it does make the case for profitability around banking on purpose, or for that of purpose-driven brands, especially when those brands like banks and credit unions are competing in commoditized markets. And so profitability, that's what all business leaders and executives really want to know about. That's what they think about. And yes, profit can be deeply rooted in a purpose, once again, that does transcend dollars and cents. So coming back to this idea of profitability and bottom line, how profitable is Bombas? Well, we need to look at their business model. Their socks are not cheap. And so a 12-pack of women's ankle socks, for example, cost around $145, while a single pair of men's is just $12. So like Tom's, these socks are not for everyone. But also like Tom's, the story of Bombas demonstrates how commoditized products do create a triple threat of tremendous value for multiple stakeholders. Number one, we have creating value for the consumer. Number two, we have creating value for the company. And then number three, we have creating value for those homeless that are in need of socks. And so when we look at the value creation in 2018, Bombas ended the year with $102 million in revenue. Who would have ever thought that the lowly, unglamorous bottom of the totem pole when it comes to clothing and accessories, the sock, could be transformed into a purpose-driven powerhouse brand driving over $100 million in revenue? So what's next for Bombas? Well, they're continuing to fulfill and live out their purpose-centered brand as they journey down the path of putting other people first. In fact, they've moved into the t-shirt space, and so for every t-shirt sold, they donate a t-shirt to someone in need. And as of summer of 2019, they have already donated over 18 million pairs of socks and shirts. So clearly, purpose is a very powerful and way to create value. It's a way to drive revenue. It's a way to drive profits, but even more so for brands competing in commoditized marketplaces, selling commoditized products. And this is true regardless of if your product is socks, shoes, checking accounts, or loans.